You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
I want to tell you all a little bit about a plant I know that can save the world. It grows long and tall and has flowers that can make your mind swirl. It's a funky plant with a vibe.
Hello everyone and welcome to Grassroots Advocate, the audio magazine produced by people advocating cannabis education. It's May the 6th, 2021, and this month we're going to go cover to cover with past issue number 13. I'm Al Graham, and Tamara, also Tamara Catwright, joins me here as we are live on paceradio.net. Good morning, Tamara. How are you?
Good morning, Al. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad, You know, it makes it easier to feel better when you look outside and you see the blue sky and sunshine. And, you know, it's not 20 degrees, but it's a lot nicer than -5 and flurries.
Yes, I agree. We don't have any sunshine this morning. We got some gray coverage, but it was beautiful yesterday. And it's not cold. It's warm.
Well,
so it's not warm.
Hey, your weather just arrived here today.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to have it.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Well, it's like watching from like where I am to the coast too. Like, their daffodils and their cherry blossoms are all been blooming for the last 2 weeks, and I'm just barely watching my daffodils barely poking through. Well, they're up and they've bloomed, but I mean, I'm just starting to see, like some of my stuff poking through. My strawberries are starting to come up, and Vancouver's always a couple weeks ahead of us too, so.
Yeah. Our here in the house, we've got some tulips up out front, but out back where the sun hasn't gotten there yet, we still got some stuff that's coming out of the ground, just getting started. It's a bit behind, eh? Yeah, usually it's the last spot in the yard where the snow and the ice melts.
Well, I made the mistake of planting some peas in the house, probably a little too early. And now I've got these great big pea vines going everywhere, and I've got to get them planted, but it's still not time.
Yeah, you better hurry. Hopefully the weather hurries up.
Well, we don't do anything until after like the May long weekend. Yeah. Rule of thumb, right? I think that's across Canada. I think everybody just kind of waits till the May long weekend to get their gardens in, and it's the same here. I don't put anything out till May long weekend. So,
well, this year the May long weekend is actually the 4th week of the month. It's actually on May 2-4. It's actually the 24th this month. So because I know sometimes when those early May 2-4 weekends, you can still get some frost.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And we've actually, like when I was living in central Alberta, we'd have snow up until the end of May. No problem. Yeah. So some places just depends on where you are in the country, right?
That's right. Exactly. Well, let's get on. Done with the weather report for this month. Let's move on. Let's move on to the magazine here. This one was originally published back in March of 2017. So some of the information today will be like a flashback in time when we cover the news and stuff like that. But the medical information, information such on terpenes and strange personalities. It never goes old.
No, and that's the thing. We're learning more and more about terpenes, and terpenes actually being more beneficial now than ever before. And that isolates really are, isolates are great, but really you want all compound. So terpenes are really, really important, and terpenes are in everything, not just cannabis.
Correct, exactly. And we're also going to look back at the news back at that time to see what.
Yeah, and it was a grand opening of Canada Days. How long have they been open now?
Yeah. Well, they've changed the names. They've reorganized Big Jig. And
just recently,
Yeah. We'll get into that as we get to the article when we get there. All right. Well, you can see on the cover, nice colorful wording there, terpenes. Yeah. And it's got the leafly dial there that shows terpenes and the benefits of those terpenes.
Right, absolutely. And if you want to follow along with us, people, it's on paceradio.net. It's paceonline.ca, and then you just look up issue 13.
Yeah. If you go to paceradio.net, click on the logo for Grassroots Advocate, and that will take you to the website where the magazine is. Or you can use the drop-down menu up in the top left-hand corner.
That's right.
And take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Good key there. Maybe next issue, maybe we'll be able to show it to everybody as we do it. See what happens.
Yeah. We're going to try and do Streamline or StreamYard. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that way people can follow along visually.
Because there's some really nice artwork and stuff that gets put into this magazine. Like you've done, like this is a paper publication, so there's been a lot of artwork and stuff put into these. So if you can take a peek at them, please do. I'll put a lot of work into these.
So, and what happens when we run out, because there's only 20 issues published originally. And, after that, we'll see. Maybe we'll be updating things, bring it up to date.
We're going to do follow-ups.
Who knows?
Take an issue and follow up with the people in the articles that were in it prior.
Maybe, like those news articles we'll get to. Alrighty, let's see. We mentioned about the news is in here. We talked about some terpene stuff. There's going to be some patients in the news. Sounds like the dogs are loose.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually let you take over for a minute. My husband needs me. He's on the phone with the CRA. So I'm just going to let you take over for a minute. I'll be right back.
All right, mute your mic, please. Please. She didn't mute her mic, but I think I can look after that on this end. Okay, that is dealt with. Okay, let's see. From there, we got Patients in the News article we're going to review, as well as recipes. And as Tamara said, we got an article in here on Canada's, which is our advocacy article. At the bottom of the index page, on page 2, we have our Georgia Tunes cartoon. It shows a lab. Person in a lab with bottles and chemistry stuff, like a chemist. And they're mixing and matching some stuff going in there. And then you see over on the other side of her cartoon, you see a garden that's all in full bloom, and there's corn and there's tomatoes and peppers, as well as some cannabis. And happy smiles on the creatures that are within her cartoon that she always loves to put in there. And a saying that says there are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. And she has a quote from somebody. I can't read the writing on it. The writing is a little bit small, so I can't quite read it. But she's quoted somebody in there, and obviously promoting the benefits of medicinal cannabis over a pharmaceutical or chemically produced drug that not everybody wants to take. It's it's choice. It's a choice that I had back in 2003 as a patient. Did I want to take the prescription drugs that they were throwing at me, or would you give me some cannabis? And ended up with both, and I still am today. So, all right, which happens to get to my editorial, which is on. Just happens to be on that being sick. And it was decisions that it was a decision time for myself. As I mentioned, cannabis. I've been using cannabis for so long, but I've also had to use pharmaceutical drugs, and some of them have been pretty scary. And this is a decision I had to make back in March of 2017. And the real odd thing about that is here I am 4 years later, and I'm probably going to have a decision to make here, another even harder decision to make here in the coming months, and I'll get into that as we go along. I think Tamara has made her way back to the show. Sorry. Yes, I had you muted at this end. Not a problem. I'm just getting into my editorial there, and I'm just letting everybody know that this one was labeled decisions, and it was the decisions I had to deal with with my Crohn's disease and medication and stuff like that. And here I am 4 years later,
right,
getting close, having to make another decision.
Yeah, I know that's the way it is with our progressing chronic diseases, right?
That's right.
Like it's never just stay where it does. It always progresses. It gets worse, and everybody thinks you're going to get better, and you don't.
That's right, exactly. It says here, all through our lives, we all make many decisions. Some are good ones, some are bad. Some are ones that we don't want to make and hate doing so if forced upon us. Some are made to improve our lives, but some results don't always reflect that. making a tough decision is a decision I find myself in now. And now, almost. As everyone knows, there was no Grassroots available last month or in December because I became too ill from a possible Crohn's flare-up. This prevented me from getting our little information sharing magazine completed and out. And during this time, I was sent by my gastrologist to get a CAT scan done on my upper body, which allowed them to see what was going on inside. And that's what I'll be doing in June. Same thing. I'll be going in to see what's going on inside through a CAT scan, because they can't go in that way with colonoscopy. And with narrowing of my bowels, they want to know what's the chances, or how soon, is that maybe a surgery will come along, and it'll be a decision I'll have to make. Will it be surgery, or will they attempt to stretch the narrowing within my bowel? So it's never going to be fun, but it's going to be a decision that's going to have to be made. It goes on to say here, those results are in. It turns out that I was correct, and I was having a Crohn's flare-up. A doctor showed me the scan, explained to me that my small bowel had inflammation in different spots, and it had thickening walls. The walls thickened can build up and lead to the closure of the bowel, which the report pointed out in an area or two. That's my concern. We discussed surgery, but he informed me that he couldn't just take a small part out, but would have to remove my small bowel. The other option is a drug that's been around for 2 years and is very high cost to go with it. What's the chances of coverage? Good luck. With Crohn's, sometimes the best thing is to find out what is bothering your system and to deal with it. And for myself, I don't see my issue being food related, as I stay within certain lists and I don't often stray from it. When the flare-up started, I did a review on things, and I have eaten and couldn't find anything out of the ordinary. But what I do know was that I was under a lot of stress at the time, and stress is a contributing factor in Crohn's. Because of this, I had to come to the conclusion that stress was a huge factor in me getting sick. So today I try to reduce the stress in my life in order to not cause another flare-up. Yeah.
And I was watching something the other day on CNN, and actually prior to even COVID, stress has been a number one killer, and this is just adding to it.
Yeah, exactly. So what do? The logical thing is not to allow or reduce the stress in my life, but life in itself can be stressful. The advocacy work that I am involved in is very important to me, but more important to me is my health. If the advocacy work that I'm presently involved in is making me sick, then that's not doing me any good. So for the next little while, I have a few things I have to think over. As should my advocacy stuff end, or should it curtail some? Is my advocacy work even causing my health issues, or were those health issues going to happen anyways? There are many unknowns and things that I have to think about. What I do know and don't have to think about is that I'm always be a cannabis advocate, educating people about the benefits of cannabis. What I need to decide is what I'm going to do and what direction I want to take, and decisions.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. Like, it's always a matter of balance, right? Yeah. And it's tough. In life is not easy, right? And on a general basis, it's not easy. Now it's 10 times harder than it was before. Yeah. And we're just trying to get by. And I think we all just need to just try and do our best, right? Yeah. I know I suffer. It's the same thing with my colitis. Added stress just throws me right into a flare. And people don't understand that pushing my buttons really doesn't help me.
Everything accumulated, all that stuff, and I ended up having to take time away from doing the magazine and stuff, just to get rid of stress, get rid of things in my life in order to make changes, and then allow things to dribble back in as my health permitted it to do so, and come June. See what happens after that. Right. If I end up under a knife somewhere, obviously I'm going to be missing some time, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah, I know, and that's unfortunate. That's the thing with Crohn's and colitis. Like, people don't even understand that whole concept of gastro. When you have surgery, they're taking feet of your intestine out, feet of it. Yeah,
you got a lot of feet, lots of length inside there, and they'll come in and take it out. and put a straight tube in.
Or make it so you don't need it all. You have a colostomy bag. That's the option they gave me.
And your bowels play so important factor in your life. That's where all your absorption is going. You're absorbing stuff all the way through there.
Yeah.
And if you're not,
or your linings, from other medications, because medications, and that's the thing too. Look, our medications that we have to take aren't beneficial for our stomach lining.
Exactly.
Right. And we could do a whole show on this, Al, on what goes on with our Crohn's and colitis. We could do a whole show on it.
No, I think so.
In reality, like I said, chronic illness isn't just certain things. It's an array of all kinds of hundreds of different, of chronic illness. And I think everybody just needs to understand that everybody's struggling with whatever it is that they're struggling with, and we just need to get, be kind. Be kind to people.
Yeah. And people have different levels of all that.
And what they can tolerate for pain too. Like some people don't have very high pain tolerance, and other people can deal with lots of pain. I'm not one of them. I'm not. But my pain tolerance is about medium. And when I'm feeling like crap and I'm in pain, just stay the hell out of my way. Those are the days you're probably seeing online and I'm not. And that might be, really, it kind of does it. It really makes a difference in our mood.
That's right. All right, on to the news, and we're going on to page 14. First article says that Human Rights Board orders insurer to pay medical cannabis costs in precedent-setting case. I don't know what the end result was down the road, because I know there was some down there in New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, where this is from, where it was overturned as well.
Well, I believe that some people have been still fighting for it, and I don't believe that anybody's gotten any resolution. I think that Sun Life does, but you have to buy through the licensed producers. It's not like you can just willy-nilly, and it's like a medical cost. I think it's up to $300 or over $300 for any medical cost before you can even start declaring them on your taxes. So I know that you can declare your cannabis on your taxes, but it has to be coming from a licensed producer, because they'll send you a receipt every time they send it to the mail. You have to take all those receipts, take them into your tax guy. The tax guy decides whether he's going to try and put it through, and then likely you'll get audited. So
you may be able to claim your taxes, but that's on the tax. Yeah, that's on the tax things. As far as the insurers, like you said, Sun Life was one. There are other insurance companies that do have that option available for the companies to add to their existing policy. And there's not a lot of them, but there are some out there that do that.
Let's be clear on this too, though. Sun Life and Great West Life and West Canada, all these are group benefits for people that have jobs.
Yeah, exactly. They are.
You don't have a job. You don't have extended benefits. So if you don't have a job that offers you benefits, you're not getting anything.
Yeah, and you can't pay for you can't afford to pay for something privately either to cover cannabis if you don't have a job.
That's right. And OSDP and PWD and ACE, none of those provincial benefits cover it.
And none of them. And some of the part of the problem as well is it's capped. Some of them are only capped at $2,500 a year, and then some of them are only based on certain medical conditions as well.
Right.
Like you have to have maybe have cancer and an MS. You know what I mean? And that's all that they cover.
Right. Absolutely. And like I said, even arthritis is kind of iffy, because it depends on your arthritis.
That's right.
There's 100 different kinds of arthritis, and depends on which one you got, whether they let you have it or not. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
At the bottom of the page is a news article. It says landlords seek to ban cannabis with new clause, and it asks, but can they? We're seeing it, right? Now we are 4 years later.
With legalization, they are.
Yeah, and this probably would have came out during the talk, because Trudeau's already brought it out by this time, right?
Yeah.
Cannabis supplier hid pesticide from inspectors, former worker says.
Oh yeah, and that we already know went to some sort of lawsuit that basically got thrown out anyways.
Correct.
They got a little slap on the wrist. They got had to pay a fine, and off they went. It's like big corporations anywhere, oil corporations, mining corporations. They don't care if you pollute or you do something wrong. Just pay.
Yeah.
We'll slap you with a big fine and just pay your way out of it. That's how this is also working.
Yeah, there was a few articles in there along about that local law firm to file class action lawsuit over tainted cannabis was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe
Okay.
they did. I believe that they did do. And I don't think they got very far. Like, I know that we've had Robert Lamari on my show a few times, and he was one of the patients that was involved in that. And I don't think he's
Yeah.
gotten any resolution at all.
Here's one. Weed Workshop introduces Ontario seniors to world of medical cannabis. If I'm not mistaken, I believe some people connected to maybe this story or something along that line might be on the Pace Radio show in 2 weeks. I'm not sure.
That would be great.
I'm not sure because I can't read the whole article, so I can't see any names. So it'd be interesting to see if maybe it is them. I don't know. See what happens down the road.
Yeah. Well, we've done that for many years too. Like, I mean, sure, we weren't, making a great big stink about it and being in the media. But how many workshops and stuff that we did on our community? Like the first time we went to Ottawa, Derek Pedro was showing us how to make hash. We were in a basement of a church, and then there we were, right? So I mean, we've been doing this for decades within our own community. It's just that now that it's legal, we can come out of it. More people are coming out of the closet, I guess. The
last news article I'm going to touch on: oral measurement of THC intoxication level is not feasible. Study concludes. Yeah, cannabis legalization poses considerable risk for drivers and policymakers, with multiple investigations converging on the conclusion that cannabis intoxication increases road traffic. Oh, likely due to reduction in attention, they say. Geez.
Right.
But we are seeing years later, there's none of that going on.
No.
A recent investigation from the university provides new important data on the debate.
But I think like I said, I'm not even sure, even after legalization, you're not hearing the whole whack of impairments.
No.
You're not hearing statistics on that.
Yeah, I've even shared a story on the insurance company. Like there's some bureau that looks over them, saying the same thing. No, the sky didn't fall. No, we didn't see an uptake.
No, and that's the thing. Like, they think they were really worried about people driving
as far
and
as
smoking,
claims.
and it didn't happen, and the sky didn't fall.
The only thing I'm really seeing when it comes to cannabis and driving is, and I don't see it so much now, maybe it doesn't make the news anymore, I don't know, but it's the having cannabis accessible to the driver.
Yeah. But it's like alcohol, like you put it in your trunk if you're,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just think it's kind of ridiculous, the whole thing, but whatever. I guess if you're going to the legal stores and having to be watched, because that's what's happening. Like if a cop sees you, I guess, go to the legal store or buy booze or whatever, if you were here per se, and it didn't go into your trunk, they'd have a reason to pull you over. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
you walk out, yeah.
Yeah, if you walk out of this store and put it in your driver's store.
If they happen to be in the area, and like I'm not saying it's a sting operation or anything, but they just happen to be in the area.
Yeah.
And you take that bag and take it in the front seat with you. Don't forget to turn your blinker on going around the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My motto is no excuses.
I don't drive. I don't smoke and drive in my car.
Correct.
Like I just don't. Like I'll smoke before I leave the house or something. I'm not saying that I don't drink, smoke and drive, but I don't smoke and drive.
We're patients. You consume throughout the day.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't get in my car and light a joint. I just don't need the hassle of the smell, the ripping my car apart. As it is, I've got a record. As it is, so the minute they pull me over, I'm treated like I'm some sort of criminal. Anyways, it's like the first thing they do is pull me out of my car and put handcuffs on me.
Doctors give people narcotics for all kinds, for pain.
Yeah.
And people take those by prescription,
they don't treat prescription people like that.
But what I'm getting at is people drive on prescription drugs, and prescription drugs can get you stoned, right?
Yeah, well, far worse than cannabis. Some of them,
really. Exactly.
But like I said, like a lot of people don't get that. Like if you've been charged with any form of drug offense, whether it's cannabis, anything else, the minute you're pulled out of your car, you're treated just like
a criminal.
Like a criminal. Like seriously, I get pulled out of my car, even if I was speeding, pulled out of my car and handcuffed immediately and asked where the drugs are. Immediately, and I'm a 4'9" woman that's not a brown skin. I'm white as my husband's truck, and I still get treated like shit.
Maybe you're the lady with those yappy chihuahuas on the corner. Maybe they think you're the same way.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I don't know.
I can't say as I've been treated like that here. I've never been pulled over here, but when I got arrested in Alberta, that's exactly what they did. They threw me up against the car, just like I was. You can ask Neil Magnuson; he was with me because Neil and I got popped one night together too, and they threw us both up in the cars like we were both like rotten criminals.
Yeah, that's not good.
For pot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, on to the next thing. On page 6, Cannabis and You, which is our medicinal article. And this is on terpenes. We're going to cover 11 different terpenes that are cannabis related, or you find in cannabis. So this was originally published by Mary Jane at maryjanesdiary.com.
Terpenes are exceeding marijuana industry. Labs are testing terpene profiles and controlling environment. This is all new and exciting in the world of cannabis, but people have been talking about terps for a while. Most plants and even some insects contain terpenes. People have been testing and mapping coffee, wine, oranges, you name it. So what is a terpene exactly, and why should you care?
Well, terpenes are classified as an organic compound. Different strains of cannabis have wide varieties of smells and tastes. Bingo. Many terpenes affect the aroma and flavor profile of your bud, and by mapping out the terpene profiles, they can predict and manipulate them. Changing the smell and flavor is pretty cool, but it's not even the most exciting part about the terpene research. Some terpenes have been found to have medicinal benefits. Yes, they have. It's not all about the THC, folks, right?
No.
That's right. So you can get terpenes and not get stoned. All right, so let's do a quick review here. Limonene. Limonene? Yeah.
Limonene. Limonene is like lemon.
Yeah, it says it can help with weight loss, prevent and treat cancer, and treat bronchitis. It's also used to make ointments and medicinal creams.
That's right. That's one thing with Asian people, to be specific, I can go to my little Asian market and they've got limonene honey. And it's a mixture of lemon, rind, the lemon itself, some ginger, and then honey. And they use it for medicinally for colds and bronchitis.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Miserine. Its medical uses says here have been shown to be effective as an anti-inflammatory. It also works as a sedative and muscle relaxer, and could possibly contribute to the tired, stony feeling often contributed to indicas.
That's right. Yeah. And then there's linalool, which is a flavor and aroma of floral. Since a spice in addition to cannabis, linalool can be found in an array of flowers, mint, cinnamon, and even some fungi. Medicinal uses are anti-inflammatory, also modulate motor movement. Other studies found that linalool can be used to help treat liver cancer.
Interesting. Alpha bisabola. Hey, I'll get that out. Its medical uses can be used to heal wounds, fights bacteria, and can be used as a deodorizer.
And that's found in chamomile.
Yes, exactly. So, not just only cannabis. No. And any variety of inflammations as well it can help with.
Right. And then there's a delta-3 carn, which is a piney, earthy medicinal use. Studies have found delta-3 carn can be effective in anti-inflammatories. It's also known for dry fluids like tears, runny nose, and menstrual flow. A search study examines 162 marijuana plants, which perceive over 80 strains that detect the carn in many of these samples. Nice. So the piney, earthy, is in, like delta-3 is also a combination in the cannabis plant too. We have the delta-3 combine in there. Yeah.
Yep. Borneol. Medical uses are analgesic, anti-insomnia, antiseptic, and bronchiolator. Open up the bronchial tubes.
Right. And then you got the alpha pinene, which is pine, of course, and particularly where pine trees get their scent from. Medicinal use is pinene, as shown to have anti-inflammatory properties. One study examined 16 marijuana plants and found that the strains contain notable amounts of alpha pinene and beta pinene.
How come I get these big words all the time?
Eucalypto?
Eucalypto, hey, thank you. It's used as a cooking spice. It is used for medical use. It's used for a variety of products, including cough suppressants, mouthwash, and body powder.
Right.
Yeah. It's small.
It's also
amounts,
great.
they
It's
say.
also it's great for to make your room smell nice in a diffuser too. I like I said, aromatherapy too. Like even with our ice with Sita's icy pot and stuff, there's a lot of aromatherapy because she's an aromatherapist as well. So the essential oils are added for medicinal purposes as well as to the topical. Yeah.
Terpenol. Terpenol, medical use is contains an antioxidant properties. There's
Right.
benefits there. Yep.
Right. And then there's caryophyllene. I don't think that's right, but anyway, it's the hoppy cannabis, and hops are basically a cousin to, well, you know what they use hop for, right? Medicinal
Big
use studies,
beer.
suggest that carbophyllene may help treat anxiety and depression. No wonder people drink beer.
Look at that. Oh,
And then you got caffeine.
yes, caffeine. Has been used to possess anti-inflammatory and antibiotic characteristics.
And that's
So
like
there you
too,
go.
like, you know, and garlic. That's another thing that's not on here. But garlic also has a terpene that's really beneficial for anti-inflammatory and antibacterial.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
I like to add a little bit of garlic in when I'm making some food.
I add garlic to everything. I add that shit to. Oh yeah, I love garlic.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our. We'll do one more thing here, and then we'll go to a commercial break. So this is the patient in the news, and this happens to deal with. This is from back in February of 2017, and it was a CBC article, and it says Sydney man with epilepsy wants province to pay for his medical cannabis. There we go.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier.
We were, and how the side effects, of everything else is, severe chronic and uncontrollable epilepsies from marijuana significantly reduces the frequency of the seizures, which we know that happens a lot for people. We know several people with epilepsy that it helps.
Yeah, Abel Stewart is his name, and he says it gives me a quality of life, which is something I've lost a lot of with the epilepsy getting bad, and I like to be able to get back to life.
Yeah. And grand mals, he says over here, it says grand mals, I have one of those and I'm pretty much done for the day. Generally an hour and a half after the seizure, I'm completely unconscious. And that's, that's what you find, like people with epilepsy, really, it's physically draining. One seizure can take you out for the whole day.
Exactly. He started collecting social assistance in 2015, and then he got a doctor's prescription for his medical cannabis. It was for 3 grams a day. And it was going to cost $540 a month, which he couldn't afford. So he applied.
And that's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So he complied. He applied to the community services to have his costs covered, and he was denied. The department wouldn't provide anyone to speak to the issue, but sent a written statement. So nobody would talk to CBC on it, but sent them a statement. What's the statement say?
The Department of Community Services provides clients with coverage for medications listed on the Nova Scotia formulary. Medical marijuana is not included on the formulary or covered under MSI, and therefore coverage is not available under the Department of Pharmacare program or an item of special need. The statement went on to say medical marijuana is not approved by Health Canada drug and therefore cannot be included in the provincial formulary. There is no publicly funded programs that cover medical marijuana anywhere, never mind in Nova Scotia.
That's right. And,
So,
they still don't. Health Canada still don't.
No, they still don't recognize cannabis as marijuana. And we've had this discussion because now they've gone to the rec market. They're never. I don't care. We can scream, we can yell, we can jump up and down till we're frickin' blue in the face. They're not going to do it.
No, that's right. No.
They could have thousands of studies. They could have thousands of research papers done. They're still not going to do it.
No, yeah, it's just freaking crazy. I know. There was a story that came out recently in the news that I shared online. Oh, here it is, right here. It was in the Hamilton paper, and it says that as you know, Tamara, as you said, stores sell recreational products. They don't sell medical products, right? So there's an advertisement there for a topical that's headed to the Ontario Cannabis Store, and it says here, the product is a skin salve formulated to hydrate and soothe skin, relieve acne, swelling, and rashes, and can be applied as a hair conditioner. Tamara, does that sound like a description of a recreational product that you would?
No, absolutely. That's where I draw the line. Like, it's like suppositories, and they're screaming about, let's do the 1-to-1 edibles. You mean CBD that's medical? You mean CBD that you've been screaming about being a medical benefit? And that's how they've marketed CBD. I'm telling you, CBD snake oil is bullshit. CBD compound in the plant, yeah, you bet. Isolate, I don't know. I have a number of patients now that are coming to me saying, it ain't doing nothing. I'm not getting anything from this. What is this? And it's like, is it a placebo? Or isn't it? Is how the government marketed so that nobody would get high, so they could push their agenda on legalization through a medical placebo? I don't know. It's mind blowing to me, quite honestly.
To continue with the story, it says that in March in 2010, the Supreme Court of Nova Scotia ruling ordered the department to cover the cost of medical cannabis as a special need for a Halifax woman who used it for the symptoms of fibro and Hep C. The decision was later upheld. And Stuart was saying that this sets a precedent. This sets the fact that they do have responsibility for covering this. And
I believe that was Sally Campbell. I think it was Sally Campbell, actually. I would have to check with my friend in Nova Scotia, Debbie. But I'm pretty sure it was Sally Campbell that actually did do this. She's actually passed away now, I believe. But there was somebody, I believe, in Nova Scotia. And I think John Percy is still trying to pursue this as well.
Yeah, it could be.
There are some, yeah.
Some, that's good. Well, Tamara, it's break time.
All right.
Time for us to pay some bills. You're listening to issue 13 of Grassroots Advocate, the Alpha. We are live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Hello and welcome back. You're listening to Grassroots Advocates, the audio files, and this month we are going cover to cover with past issue 13, and we are live here at paceradio.net. I'll get that out. Jeez, net. That little Russian accent on the end there. I don't know.
It's been kind of a shit show morning with me running around like an idiot, banging, slamming, dogs barking.
We're getting things done. We're getting things done. And I
was finally smoking my first joint because that's how much of a shit show it's been this morning. I hadn't even smoked a joint yet.
Busy morning, but you're getting it in. We're getting her done, eh? All righty. Let's start off with something that looks really delicious, but can be painful for some of us. And that is a recipe. Look at that thing, eh? If you can see this, you gotta go to pace-online.ca.
You know what I'm gonna do? Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I can probably not screenshot for this, but take a
picture,
picture of it, and then put it on my page.
There you go. It is. This is a recipe coming to us from eatyourcannabis.com. It is a peanut butter and espresso cannabis cupcake. Wow! You get a double shot, a medicated cupcake that has got espresso in it. Wouldn't that be a?
I can handle the espresso. It's the peanut and the nuts.
It's the nuts. Nuts are the killer for me, man.
Yeah. I love nuts. That's one of my biggest. Seriously, I love nuts, and that's why I can't do keto diet. So he goes, "Why don't you go on the keto diet? Dairy, nuts, no."
No, can't do nuts, man.
No, I can't do nuts, and even with the meat and stuff on that. I know I bought a half a cow. Doesn't mean I'm going to be eating. Yeah. I can eat all of that meat. I would think, by the looks of it, the peanuts are on the outside here, or an added item, because I'm looking down the recipe here, and I'm not seeing any peanut. Yeah, I'm not seeing any peanuts. So that's an optional thing. So we can maybe. But it's got almond meal. I couldn't do the almond meal.
Almond meal, that's not like a nut, right? It's just a powder.
I know, I still can't do that. I can't do any of that. No. Nothing. No, even almond milk. Everybody's like, drink almond milk. I can't. It's the almond. It just,
You don't add it to the recipe.
I just use coconut milk. I would use coconut. There's always a substitution. That's the lovely thing about baking. You can always substitute something else.
Yeah,
you really can. Even eggs, you can really substitute. You can use applesauce in egg too.
They actually, in this recipe, does not call for an egg, but it does call for applesauce.
Right, because that would probably might be your alternative to an egg.
Yeah,
because your eggs are leavener, and it also your binder, right? But the applesauce will bind if you've got baking powder. So there's your leavener in it, and that's what eggs do. They leaven and then they bind, right? So if you've got binder, which would be your applesauce, and then you've got your baking powder, which is your leavener, you're good to go.
Just after I said that, there are no eggs in the recipe, but as I read this, it says in another bowl to take some applesauce and eggs and put them together. So.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
There's no eggs. I don't. 2 eggs. Yeah, it says 2 eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract.
Oh,
right there.
There it is. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's that morning, Al. It's that morning.
It's that morning. All right. Well, you can see I got a coconut recipe there, but I'm going to have to leave you for 2 seconds while I let the dog out, okay?
I'll start with this. So this peanut butter and espresso cannabis cupcake, you require, I don't know if you went through this, you need a muffin pan, you need almond meal and baking powder, salt, cocoa powder, espresso powder, coconut, cannabis oil, which will take us down to our next recipe because there's no point in showing you these recipes if you don't know how to make the coconut cannabis oil. So the coconut cannabis oil, also, there are different ways of making cannabis oils. You can also use different methods, but this one is in a crock pot with 5 waters of distilled water, and then your 2 ounces of cannabis that is finely ground and chopped, and your organic coconut oil. And then, of course, you let that sit, you strain it through your cheesecloth, put it into your container, and then you can use that through, a variety of recipes. You can also do the same method with butter. You can also do the same method with olive oil. So there's several different ways you can make cannabis oil, but this is what we've got added to this recipe so you can see that you need that for this recipe. Mm-hmm. So then you add your 3 tablespoons of cannabis coconut oil, melted, and then you whip in everything together, and it looks like those muffins are lovely. Like I said, I couldn't do the but everything else, and it's cocoa powder. So you're using unsweetened cocoa powder, which is actually pretty good for you, actually.
It is, yeah. Exactly.
But those look absolutely terrific. So like I said, I was just, when you were gone, I went through the coconut cannabis oil recipe to add, and then went back. Yeah. So that's it. That page is done.
It's done. That page is done. Page 9 is over. And with recipes and methods of doing things, people always, do a little tweak to it here and there. And
absolutely. That's the thing. That's, like I said, that's a joy about baking. Is that you can add your own spin to it. You can add your own spice to it. You can make it your own with just a tweaking of a little bit. So I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
On to Keeping Pace, which is our advocacy article, and it was written by myself, and that was the Canada Day's grand opening. Canada Days.
These fine people are still sponsors of our network.
Yes, Camelford Lifestyle Shop is their new name, and it hasn't moved. Well, from the original location where this article was covered, he has moved, but it's to the store next door, and they actually bought the building next door.
Excellent. And you used to do your radio program right up from the front window of this place.
Yes. I was doing the radio show, Pace Radio Show, right from the front window, and giving people updates as people walked by the window, and I was waving at people, or people across the bar were waving at me, or stuff like that. That's right. Yeah.
Looks like a nice little store, little bong store with all your needs for your medical and grow, and it looks just great.
The municipality was present, gave them a welcoming opening ceremony with the MP and MPPs, had reps there. The municipality, the Chamber of Commerce, the BIA, they are giving them plaques for opening up the new business.
How is that working now? Because isn't Campbellford where they said they wanted no cannabis retail?
No. Campbellford, which is Trent Hills, as a municipality, opted in.
Oh, okay. It's where you are that opted out. Okay.
Yeah, it's where I'm located, where they're worried about cannabis store would be showing the rest of the world that there's drugs in our community. Campbellford has two cannabis stores, as far as rec stores, in the works to be opened up. Canada Days or Campbellford Lifestyle Shop will not be doing cannabis sales.
No.
He's this is part of the changeover, right?
Well, the thing is, it's really, like, let's face it, being involved in the legal market, it's a huge investment. You have to have either a huge investor or big bucks, because it's like owning a liquor store. Every bottle in the liquor store has got to be paid for before it goes out the door. There's no cuffing. There's no invoicing. It's all cash, just the way it is, right?
Wayne, to get this store open was an adventure. Wayne started, as a grassroots advocate, just like the magazine. He started his business going to flea markets and holding 420 celebrations and stuff like that.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
And he grew it to a store. And when he went to open the store, he went to check with town officials to make sure that there was no issues, and licensing bylaws and stuff like that, and was told there was none by the municipal planning director. With the approval, right, Wayne went ahead and went to get his store started. And he got on the front page of the local paper. I was in the picture with him, and unfortunately, a few days later, the municipal bylaw officer called him to inform him that he was not allowed to open his business. And he asked why, and he says it's because there's retail space and apartments in there, and it needed to meet certain criteria as far as regulations and controls, fire regulations and things like that. So it took him 9 months. There's 9 months of delays for that to be done. He had to put 4 layers of fireproof drywall on the walls, sound barrier, fireproof caulking, even inside the holes inside electrical boxes. He had to have a separate hydrometer, separate gas meter.
And is this just for regular business, or because he had the word cannabis around it?
Well, they are claiming this was regulation because he was a retail business with residents within the same building. Oh,
and what? Because he sold lighters?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that just sounds ridiculous. In hindsight, though, I think it's just...
They're putting screws to
them. Yeah. But I mean, in hindsight, I think it's I hate to say this, but a lot of communities are just doing it as a cash grab.
Yeah.
Like not kidding you. Like, permits to get even to put a window in my house is going to like $5,000 because I have to have blueprints by a goddamn architect to do, whatever to put a fucking window in.
See, when that building was originally a retail store on the bottom and 2 apartments above.
Right.
When this guy bought it and all that, he put a store down. He had left the store down there and 2 apartments up front, and put an apartment in the back. The bylaw officer told the landlord that he had to have separate heating for the retail space over the residential space. But why didn't they have to do that before the cannabis store was in there? Why didn't they have to do that when it was just one store, a print shop that was downstairs? There was a print shop that was doing T-shirts and all that type of stuff. They didn't have to have a separate furnace for the places upstairs. But this landlord all of a sudden had to have a separate furnace, and it spent $21,000.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, it's a cash grab. Yeah, I think it's a total. I think it's a total cash grab. Like I said, these permits and all this crap to, do whatever bylaw bullshit. Like it's just a cash grab. It's unfortunate. Like it really is. Like I said, even here, I couldn't even imagine. I don't know what the regulations are anywhere else, but even in this little shit hole, it's ridiculous what you need for permits to build a fence. You can't build, you know what I mean? Like to put a wrought iron, it's nuts. Anyway, yeah.
So so there's pictures there of the studio when I was doing the Pace Radio show from the front window. It's there. You can see my microphone, and headphones, and the computer and everything.
But like you said too, it says it's more than just a bong shop. It carries bongs, but it also carries a community.
Yeah,
like it's about community, and that's what a lot of these stores are based upon. It's upon somebody that has a love for the plant, a love for the paraphernalia, and just wants to spread the word. So a lot of these small mom and pop stores that have really suffered during legalization really need our help too, because they're the pioneers, they're the forefront, they're the ones that push the envelope, because paraphernalia laws are still in some area are legal.
Yeah.
Like, even though they're putting, and that's the thing too with the legal stores, it's oversaturation, because now you can get papers and bongs and pipes with your cannabis in your cannabis store. So again, these mom and pop stores are getting hit. Never mind with what's going on with viruses. So this is prior to even COVID, that these little mom and pop stores are getting hit because of the regulations that we live by.
Yeah. It just drives you crazy sometimes.
It really does. Like, it really. It's heartbreaking, because you know how much effort anybody puts into a small business.
Oh,
whether it's a pawn store, a restaurant, or anything. You put your whole and again, I'm kind of callous. I say, it's not your right to own a business, because it's not. It's not your right to own a business. But people do put their whole heart and souls into these projects that become part, and their employees become part of their families and the whole 9 yards. So I understand both sides of it. And these, like I said, but this is prior to COVID even. These small mom and pop shops, all the dispensaries, all the people that were working in our community prior got shut out because of legalization. These stores aren't doing as well. I'm really pleased that Wayne's still doing so well, because in reality, a lot of them just closed up doors because they couldn't battle. They weren't going to compete with the oversaturation of the legal industry.
Yeah, he's, it's not easy. He's keeping the door open, but it's...
Yeah, but he's also had to add other things. Like he's
He's
had to add other things. He's not just selling bongs and papers anymore
and
keeping it clean. You know what I mean? He's had to go into whatever other side of the lifestyle that other people are, which is fine, whatever. None of my business. But again, like having to, like, we've got one of those in store. We got a bong and dong, and we call it the bong and dong here too. And
yeah, that's a shame. It's where you get your bong and dongs. Yeah, they've expanded into the adult.
Into the adult industry. And the sex industry has been it's the oldest, profession in the world. We know that. But in hindsight, a lot of people wanted to get away, because a lot of the original stores were, first of all, sex shops, and then they added the bongs and stuff to it because it was something that was kind of taboo. Now it's just kind of general that you go in and they have to add the sex stuff to keep themselves afloat because the bongs aren't so great no more. And that's fine. You have to do what you got to do to keep your business going, but it's sad. It's sad.
I got the one where I was talking to Shallon one day, and I said to her, like during curbside, do you take an assortment of bongs up to the curb for someone to decide over where everybody drives by?
Yeah. And what do you do? Take out a bunch of dildos too, let them pick which one they want. You know what I mean? But I mean, again, you do what you got to do for business. And and like I said, curbside, whatever it is.
Yeah. They've got the piercing in there as well. I believe he's the only one in the area that's doing piercing. So
that's like here too. We only got one place in town that does piercing, and they do really well with it. And they're still, even with COVID, these people are still piercing because they're masking, they're sanitized. And let's put it this way: as a hairdresser, I know that our sanitation levels in our shops are way even higher than a restaurant. Like, you can eat off the floors in a hair salon. You can eat off the floors in a piercing place. They're autoclaves and all the sanitization stuff. They're still piercing here. I don't know if they are in Ontario. Of course, you guys are shut down a little harder than we are.
I'm not 100% sure what the situation is that right now. But I know that she has and hasn't during this time. So, all right, on to the next article, which I believe was the last one of this, and it's called the Blog Spot. This was something that was originally published in Mary Jane again, which goes back to the terpenes, and it says, "What is your favorite strain's personality?"
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite strain? What is your favorite strain?
My favorite strain, I have a strain called Grape Escape. I did have one. I would say my favorite strain was the Humber Valley Kush that I grew for several years that I unfortunately lost. That one was one that it wasn't a super high THC. It was only around 17%. It wasn't over 20, but its effects with all its terpenes and everything, and the taste and that was good. It was great. It was really outstanding. I got lots of compliments on it, and I would tell people that it's not an over 20% strain, but its effects works good, and that's because of everything combined.
Right.
Because everybody says, they're all about THC all the time. It's not always about THC.
No. Yeah, I'm a Kush fan of any of them. It doesn't matter what kind of Kush it is. I've always been kind of a Kush fan. I like the flavor, the terpene profile, the high of, the difference, because you can get the OG and then you get the pink and the purples, and there's quite a variety of different Kushes. You can get an Afghani, which is basically an Afghani Hindi, indica, a hybrid from, several different strains that have been put together. And like I said, I don't know if it's a terpene profile that I love so much, but it's just, it doesn't matter. You could, any Kush, send them my way.
Send them your way. It says here that the first thing that's important to understand is that no matter where your terpenes come from, each terpene product is considered to be either full spectrum or not. This is a full spectrum terpene extract will capture the entire terpene profile from your favorite strain and in the same ratios as the original plant material itself, therefore serving as a concentrated twin of the original plant profile. It goes on about the entourage effect of full spectrum terpene profiles. They're just talking about the terpene profile, not of all cannabis, right?
Yeah, like and the entourage effect.
Yeah.
Which holds the key to unlocking the effect of the cannabis strain for this, as well as their medicinal values.
It says here something to consider. They say to ask, where did the terpenes come from? So they must be talking about asking about different terpenes and different products and stuff like that. They said, are they a synthetic plant derived or are they cannabis derived? And chemically speaking, the brilliant, bright lemon flavor in fresh cannabis is the same as the lemon smell released by lemons.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why they're so important. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. Some of the stuff you can find, whether, it doesn't have any terpene profile at all. It smells like grass.
Yeah.
And that means it hasn't been cured proper.
Two top methods of extracting cannabis terpenes. They mentioned the most common methods for doing this is water distillation. And steam distillation. But I guess that's okay. I'm always
well,
thinking
you figure
about
you make bubble hash with ice water, right?
Yeah, but with ice water. But they're talking about here boiling water.
Steam, yeah. I remember. I believe it was Sam Malachi that used to steam to make butter, if I remember correctly. At one point in time, yeah.
Yeah, and they talk about CO2. So there are different ways of doing this. I always look at cannabis as something that's not water soluble.
Yeah, no, I think that's a myth that we've all been kind of, just to keep it away from water, it's going to ruin it, right?
Well, like when you trim, right, and you go wash your hands, right, even after you get anything that might be built up off, you still got stickiness on your hand, and it doesn't wash off the plant in the rain.
No.
Right?
No.
So
no, but it's the temperature. It's not so much the water, right? When you're doing the ice in the bubble hash, it's the ice. Even if you you can knock it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the frozen. It's the freezing.
Correct.
It's the temperature. It's not so much the water.
The trichomes are freezing, and you're breaking them off. And, correct.
Yeah. It's the temperature, and that's the thing too with CO2. It's not even the CO2. It's the temperature, because it's a really cold gas. Yes. So it's freezing everything off and knocking it off, right? So yeah.
All right, that's the end of that one. On to the directory here. We cover different directories and stuff, or different places we were at that time. There's one there on the Compassion Club's center listing that I want to throw a shout out to. That's because he was in the news yesterday. Justin Louses, patient, cannabis patient, advocate. Justin's been involved big time. He was part of the coalition stuff. He was dealing with patients, helping them left and right. He opened up Just Compassion in Toronto, and in the paper the other day I saw that he had been raided and shut down. I don't know if you met Justin personally.
I do know. I didn't even see anything.
I've met the guy personally many times, interviewed him several times.
I have
for us.
He joined us on our he joined us at New Year's. He was on our he was.
Yeah, he was, Justin's helping patients, man. Like he's when they put the article, the picture in the article that I saw was pictures of candy bags, right? And going on to that fear thing of the kids and all that. And Justin's not about kids; he's about patients.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing. I'm just looking at his page. There's nothing posted on this page.
No.
Nothing. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't see anything about that. That's super unfortunate because he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about the kids for him. It's got absolutely nothing to do with kids. It's got everything to do with patients. And he's in a wheelchair. I mean, the guy's got yeah, like yeah. Oh, that's horrible news.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Exactly. I got to go to the Supreme Court of Canada to watch that court case with Kirk Tusaw because of Justin. Justin got me on the bus so I could go. You know, when there wasn't a spot available, he got me there, and you know, I thanked him left and right for that opportunity to be there, and it was quite an experience. And Justin isn't a criminal. Justin's patient. Justin's just like the rest of us. He's a patient, trying to help patients.
Yeah.
So that's too bad. I wish him well, and you know, if we can help out in any way, I'll be looking for that way if I see something out there. So, alrighty. From there, we're going on to the donors and sponsors and stuff like that, where the magazine was available. You know, it's not out there anymore, but you know, people are still involved, like Legacy 420. BMA Hydroponics are still involved with us. Issues used to go to Mom down there with Debbie. Debbie would distribute them all over the place for us.
Yeah, and Keith Fagan and Debbie Fagan in Calgary. Calgary 420 had them all the time too. So we get them in Southern Alberta too. So we had them in Alberta too.
Good stuff. Nice to know that they're spread across country. But yeah, it was you know, the magazine at that point. Down the road, I don't know, we've got another 6 issues to cover, and what we're going to do down the road, that's something that you and I'll sit down and have a discussion in a meeting and see what's going to happen.
We'll figure it out, Al. We gotta, you know, we gotta keep on keeping like we always do, right?
That's right.
Like, you know, we got me figured out on this board, even though yesterday was a shit show for me, so I had you help me out.
That's right.
And even this morning, me trying to get on this because I didn't realize that I had to open
Spreaker. Yes, that's right. That's right. Hey, we started on time. We started.
We did.
You will do that more than once, and you will forget.
Hey, we're all learning, right?
You will forget to unmute your mic more than once. All right, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Like I said, it's a good thing that I realized that, you know, that we can. Like I got Skype open. It was like, oh, if you got Skype open, you have to have Spreaker open too, because it's all hooked together. It's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. The two of them got to work together.
Now I'm getting it. You know, before, because I never had Spreaker on before, right? So
that's right.
It didn't matter. I didn't have to have both of them running. But
yeah,
now I got it. I figured it out.
You got it. And next week you'll get started on your own broadcast with
with the Reddit. We're gonna and like I said, I don't even care if I got logos at this point. We're just gonna go, like, because I mean logos aren't about the show's not about logos. The show's not about logos and marketing, and because we don't care. You know me, I don't give a shit about that. I don't really care. I don't have business cards and stuff for myself. I just go out and just do what I do.
We'll need something. We'll need a picture of some sort. We'll need a picture of some sort for your new show. And if you're not ready to launch a new show next, good stuff.
I will have something up. You know me, I'm better under pressure, right? So when I put it down, it seems like, okay, I've got to get this done. I got to get it done. I'll get it done.
There you go. Okay, dokie. All right, we're done. So just a reminder, let everybody know that next issue will be issue 14 of Grassroots Advocate that we will be doing. Watch for some changes, and literally watch for some changes, and see how that goes. You can find people advocating cannabis education on Twitter at Pace Radio. You can find us online at paceradio.net, and you can find Pace as pace-online.ca. Thank yous as always go out to our sponsors, legacy420.com, bmahydroponics.com, drbuckcts.com, which is cannabis trimming solutions, as well as a Camelford lifestyle shop in downtown Camelford. Plus, as always, thank you to my co-host, Tamara. Thanks, Tamara, for being here when we do this.
Absolutely, and it's always a pleasure, Al.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning into the program. Thank you, and have a great day.
Bye.
I want to tell you all a little bit about a plant.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Legacy 420 has medicinal and recreational products down to a science, literally. With 2 biochemists on staff and a chief scientific advisor, every product is tested in the Legacy 420 laboratory. Legacy 420, Tyndanaga. Open 9 to 9 every day. Visit legacy420.com.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive. The only way to go.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.